Fucking boo.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Fucking Boo Bombing Stories with Jay Hollingsworth. Today, my guest is a good buddy of mine. He has a podcast called Thanks for the Invite, which I was on with Yoshi. I was on there with Yoshi, great comic. Freddy Correa.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Big Irish Jay? I love you, buddy.
Love you too, buddy. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on. All right. By the way, when you studied, as you said, Big Irish J, because I'm sure you were probably used to saying Big J. I posted an ad for a show I have coming up, and like 2 people got on there like, who's this guy trying to fucking write on Big J Okerson's coattails? This guy, Big J's way funnier. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. All right. I'm not going to shit on Big J. You know, it is what it is. Anyways, what is your story, Freddie? Give us your best bombing story.
All right. Well, actually, it has to do with Big J. That's funny.
Big J Okerson?
Big J Okerson.
Oh,
not Irish
shit.
J, Big Jew J. He's a Jew.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So I went to Skankfest in 2018, just straight up as a fan. I bought my ticket. I told my wife, I'm like, hey, I'm going to go to this comedy festival and scope it out. And I'm going to save as much money as I can to, because she's not going to New York. So I'm going by myself. That's her dream, to go to New York. But I'm like, look, I'll stay in a hostel. I stayed in a hostel, went to Skankfest, and I got to meet Big J and introduce myself. And when I said my name, he's like, hey, your name sounds familiar. I'm like, yeah, you talked about my video about the dude getting kicked in the chest in Vegas. It went viral, and you and Dan Soder did a whole episode on there. And
Wait, I'm sorry to interrupt you really quick. Is that your video?
Yeah.
Holy shit. I've seen that video multiple times. For the people watching or listening, what is there like what would they Google to see the video?
Heckler gets kicked by comedian, and there's different people that posted it, so you could watch any version of it, and that's the best way to find it. Yeah.
I had no idea that was your video. Yeah,
that's my video, bro. Lizzie. Shit. So if you've seen it several times, you see that somebody's recording from the back, and then it cuts into the side view.
Right.
Lizzie, without me even telling her, when she heard a bunch of squealing, she just picked up her phone and recorded horizontal, like a good girl, instead of vertical back in the day.
Right.
And then I came out of the restroom because I heard yelling too, and I just immediately started recording that. I spliced both videos together.
Holy shit. Yeah, go check that out. Felicia's in the chat. Go check that out. That's a fucking crazy video. Okay, sorry to interrupt. So Big J and was it Louis J. Gomez? They were talking about it on the podcast?
Dan Soder.
Dan Soder, sorry.
That'd be good if anybody looks up that video and type in The Bonfire. They actually do commentary, and it's like it turned into like 40 minutes of them stopping the video and doing commentary. It's fucking great.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's all good, bro. You don't have to apologize all the time, dude.
All right. Sorry for apologizing.
By the way, am I too far from the mic? Because some people...
you're great.
Okay.
You're beautiful.
You're beautiful, man.
You're beautiful. Beautiful.
So anyway, I talked to Jay, and then Jay's like, so you're a comic? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you want to do a spot tonight? And it was the kickoff party. And I'm like, I forgot to mention they were having a basketball tournament with comics. That's where I ran into him during the day. He tells Christine, his girlfriend, hey, put this guy on the kickoff party show. Steve Renazizi, Ari Shafir, Kim Condon, all kinds of people are on the show, bro. And it's at the Creek in the Cave. And I think I went on like 10 or 12, 11, something. But right before I went up, they announced, hey, upstairs, the Legion of Skanks podcast is about to go up. So that fucking room cleared. Oh. It got sucked out. But I'm not going to blame it on that. Not going to blame it on only a few people there. Here's why it's my worst bombing story. While the show's running, I'm pacing around, and I'm like, fuck, I got to go up on the show. I'm thinking, man, I made it. I'm with Ari. I'm with Bobby Kelly. All these people are here. I'm on the same show. And then as I'm pacing, this guy in the back, he's like, hey, didn't you used to live in Reno, Nevada? I'm like, yeah. And then I looked into his eyes and I recognized him. And it was an old co-worker from the cable company up in Reno, Stacy Gomez. And And he's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, well, I'm a comic. What are you doing here? And he's like, I listen to Legion of Skanks. And I had not talked to this guy like in 10 years, bro. Sweet guy, super cool. We just never kept in touch.
And sorry to interrupt you. At this point, as you're like, because when you were saying like Bobby Kelly, Ari Shaffir, all these great comics, and you're like, holy shit, I made it. How far are you into stand up at this point? How long
About, I'm 11 right now, going on 12. So I think this is 8 years, 7 years.
Okay, all right, gotcha. Sorry.
Yeah. So he didn't know I was a comic. Stacy didn't, and I tell him, I'm like, I'm actually on this show. He's like, no way, we gotta see you. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm about to crush this shit. That room was roaring, bro. And then new, like up and coming, like myself, were going up in between the heavy hitters,
right?
And they were fucking killing, bro. So I'm like, this is it. They might even ask me to do the rest of the Skankfest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they may bring you on the radio. Third chair.
Bro, I'm not lying. I in my head, I had that delusion. I had the delusion of them inviting me on the bonfire and interviewing me about the whole Raid Zone video.
Oh, dude, I could see it. Yeah.
And so I go, I'm about to go up. His wife is there, a couple other friends. It was a crew of them. And then when the floor just vacuumed out of there, I was left with maybe 10 people or so. But the guy before me, he still killed. So it's no excuse.
You're like, okay, it's still a hot room.
Yeah. And I got some people. I'm going to impress them with my killer bits. And I go up, bro, and from the start, nothing but crickets. And then I had another bombing story where the same night I saw Joe Rogan bomb at 12:30, and I thought in my head, Joe Rogan got out of it. He pulled out by addressing the situation. People left, and then he got him back. And it was just a pop in. Anyway, so I'm like, I'm going to do a Joe Rogan. I'm going to address that I'm bombing, and then I'll get back out and get into my bits. And I start addressing that I'm bombing, and somebody in the back's like, yeah, you're bombing. I'm like, And I look at my friends. They're sitting on the right side, and I'm like, hey. Anyway, this is comedy. and they have like this face, like, you know, like when a little kid's ready to open a present, they're like just happy to see it, but then their face went from happy to just like disgusted, bro. And I get off stage, I fuck up the next guy's intro, totally fuck it up, and he is pissed that I bombed, and he's pissed that I fucked up his name,
right?
So he goes off and tries to make fun of me. Now he's bombing. So I turn into Bomb City, bro. Now I went there for a mission. It was like a suicide bomber.
Jesus Christ. Did Jay, or did you see Jay after that?
No one. Everybody that's anybody was upstairs already.
Gotcha.
And the Creek in the Cave, the old one up in New York, the basement was a room that could fit maybe 100 people squished in. And yeah, no one saw me. That was like a big comic,
right?
But here's what sucks, bro. Afterwards, this is the kickoff party, so this is Thursday night. It's gonna go through Sunday.
Oh, man,
the 10 people that were there, and my friends, I kept running into each other like throughout Skankfest, bro. There was a guy with the giant beard. He's like, "Hey, I saw you perform." I'm like, yeah, that was terrible. It's like, but everybody was so nice, though. You know, you would have thought that people were going to be like, this guy stinks. And they were like, oh, man, you know, it is what it is. I've seen a lot of comedy. It's no thing. And it made me feel better. But then my friend Stacy, after that, we actually became good friends. We bonded over Legion of Skanks. So we became like traveling, like we traveled with them to go to Houston.
Oh,
we went to Skankfest. Yeah, we went back to New York the next year. So we room in with them. It was totally cool because out of that shitty bomb, I gained his friendship and his wife's, and they're friends with my wife. So yeah, so
that's crazy. As you blow up, he can always be like, I remember you at that 10-person show, Freddie.
Yeah, dude. It was pretty embarrassing to see someone that you haven't seen in a while, and then you just surprise them with, hey, I'm a comic, and now I just totally suck, bro. And
And that part of the of I guess this whole overall the bombing is that video you recorded. Can you talk about that a little bit? Like, so that was an open mic, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so it was an open mic. My friend Sammy Solorio, who's a comic from he was visiting, and I wanted to take him out to hit up a mic. He had just started comedy, and this is probably 2015 or 16, and I look on the Facebook page. I see Tino is running this mic in downtown on Fremont. And I hit him up. I'm like, hey, bro, can you please put us on the list? He's like, for you? Yes. I show up. There's nobody there. Of course you can put us on the list.
Yeah.
So I show up and you've seen the video. There's like 5 people in the audience. There's Raid Zone's walking around, getting ready to do his thing. Tino, the guy who kicked Raid Zone.
So I don't know, who is Raid Zone? Is he, so that was here in Vegas?
Yeah, in Vegas.
Is because I haven't seen this Raid Zone guy.
My apologies.
Is he still do stand up?
Yeah, he does. He does.
Really?
Yeah, I seen him at Wise Guys quite a bit.
Okay, all right. Sorry, I was just like, what the?
No, you're right. I should have given a background. I just assumed everybody knew who Raid Zone was. That's stupid of me. Raid Zone is a guy that's a wacky dude. He puts on wacky shirts. He throws paint on his shirt like living color, just random splats of paint, and hats with pins, whatever. And he goes around with a little keytar. He starts playing the keyboard, and then sometimes he brings a ukulele, that kind of thing.
I was gonna say, sounds keytarded.
Yeah.
All right, go on. Yeah.
So we knew him since, I knew him since I moved to Vegas in 2012, and he would go around open mics. He would always yell out shit. And I just thought it was an old crazy guy with Tourette's or something. I didn't think he was evil. And then I started learning that he's actually a dickhead. He's a jerk to everybody. He thinks he's above everybody, above pay grades. Like he actually thinks he's all Hollywood. I don't know. He's keytarded, And so he's there, and I'm like, oh, this guy's here. I didn't think nothing of it. Tino's outside barking, trying to get people, lure them into the open mic. I got a couple that sat in the mic, and when the guy that, I don't know if you remember, but listen to the video, and when Raid Zone gets kicked in the chest, there's a guy in the audience that says, he pulls down his glasses, he's like, now that's funny. And everybody just starts laughing. It's just because it was so awkward, it broke the tension. So this is how it happened. Tino was pretty much trying to figure out who's going to go up first. And he pointed at Raid Zone. You want to go up first? And Raid Zone's like, yeah, but can you give me 10 minutes? And Tino lied to him. So if people that say that Tino was right in taking the mic away, I'll be honest, he did promise 10 minutes.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So Raid Zone is there bombing his ass off, eating shit. And Tino's like, you know what? It's over. He just grabs and takes the mic. And that's why Raid Zone was furious. Because he was promised 10 minutes. And I heard it. He is right. He's like, you said 10 minutes. You say, he's like, sit down, Raid. And he starts, making fun of him. And it's not until he makes fun of his mom, who's dead, that Raid Zone had it. And he runs over there with his tinfoil hat.
Right, son? Yeah. I was going to ask you, is that a fucking tinfoil hat on that video? It is.
It sure is.
Okay.
It sure is. And he's, I don't know what he's going to, in my opinion, I think Raid Zone was just going to get up to his face and point his finger at his nose or something. But Tino having martial, what is it? Jiu-jitsu? Is that what you did? Anyway.
I did mixed martial arts. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Well, Tino's instinct, fucking kick. And he just stops him with his foot. I don't even think.
Yeah, he did more than stop him.
Well, he did kind of like, right here in the bottom of the rib cage.
Fucking Sparta kicked him.
Yeah, he did, bro. I was trying to defend Tino, but he did. But the full force, you could see fucking Raid Zone's arm just fucking. It was an amazing kick, and I was like, this is glorious. I just got this on my camera, and then I zoomed into the tinfoil hat fell on the side. And I went in slow motion, and I got it bigger and bigger, and then that's how the video ends. And the reason I released the video, by the way, I never thought I was going to release it. We left because we're like, the cops are gonna get here. Let's just go to another. So we went to another open mic. Bro, by the time I got to the next open mic, they knew. I was like, there was nobody here. How the fuck they know?
You know how comics are, though. Immediately, everybody's like, bro, Red Zone just got the shit kicked out of it.
Bro, it was like a big bully a retarded bully just got fucking beat up, you know, because he would bully other comics. And now he got fucking kicked in the chest. And people were begging me, dude, send me the video. Let me see the video. And I would let people see the video and I'll make sure they're not recording because I'm like, these motherfuckers are going to. So then I finally said, you know, fuck it, I'm gonna edit it, and I did, and I put it out, and that shit spread like it went viral, and I got a lot of people loved it, but then it got ripped off, and somebody ripped it off and put it on World Star.
Oh,
and
shit!
That's when it really took off. Because my video has like 800,000 views. It stopped because it got flagged for violence. But on World Star, it went over, I don't know how many, if it's 2 million now, but it went over 1 million.
Can you do anything with that, or you just asked out?
Yeah, a little bit. I got reached out. Someone reached out to me from Ridiculousness.
Oh, yeah.
On MTV. A comic reached out, and he said if they could have the rights to use it. And I said, well, let me ask Tino. I asked permission from Tino. And then they worked out a deal with him and myself, and we got paid for it. They put it on Ridiculousness.
Oh, so, nice.
Yeah, so that was nice.
Did you guys run it by Raid Zone?
I did not run it by Raid Zone, bro. He thinks
we getting the shit kicked out of him. He didn't even get a buck. Oh my god,
bro. I feel bad, bro, because
as we laugh,
he thinks he did a rebuttal. Go on YouTube and watch the rebuttal. He puts the TV and he goes over the commentary and he does his own commentary. And he thinks that he calls us illegals. He's like, these illegal Mexicans.
All right, well, fuck this guy then.
He's like, they got rich because of me and this and that. And I honestly thought I was gonna get in trouble with the law because he sent us. I got a subpoena one day. I got served papers to go to court, and he was doing a civil suit. And I'm like, the day the cop came up to me and he's like, I need to turn these papers into you. I need you to sign here. I'm like, what is this about? And he's like, there's a guy that says that you guys jumped him at a comedy show.
Oh, Jesus.
And I'm like, no, I recorded it. He's like, you recorded it? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, here's the papers for it. I'm like, can I show you the video? And I showed the cop the video.
Did he laugh?
Yeah. Bro, that video gets it pops up every once in a while. Some big people share it. BJ Penn, Michael Rappaport recently, and I keep getting hit up by that video. People think I'm the kicker because I put my name on the bottom.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
holy
dude.
Shit. Going back to your bobbing story at Skankfest, is now you're a few years out from it, and more experienced comic. Is there anything you would have changed or that you learned from that, or is there anything you think you could have done to where you wouldn't have bombed?
Man, I listened to your podcast and I was trying to prepare for this answer, and I think the best I could have done is I should have started talking to the people, because you know better than me. You've been doing this longer than me, and you're a fucking beast, bro. I fucking love your comedy, and I've seen you in big crowds and I've seen you in little crowds, and you know how little crowds, it sounds gross when you're doing your bits. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, because it feels the equivalent. That's such a fucking great point, Freddie. For those listening or watching, yeah, when you have a small crowd, I never thought of that, but it is it's like a gross feeling, because it feels almost to the equivalent of somebody like just in a conversation going, "Oh, you're a comic? Oh, tell me one of your bits." Yeah. And you never fucking are going like, "Oh, okay, cool. Let me tell you one of my jokes that just to you." Dude, it's so true. Sorry. All right.
No, that's a great example. And another example similar to that is, let's say you're around comics, and you know when you hear one comic going into a bit,
yes, and you're like, "Oh, what are you doing?"
Yeah, it's like that one show where the guy would set you up in a round, Comedians Unleashed or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Because everybody's
Yeah.
telling funny stories off the top of your head, but this guy going into a bit, and it just feels gross. So I think I should have went away from the material and kind of talked to the people and weaved in my bit into the conversation. And that's what I've seen people like you, people like Butch Bradley, Greg Wilson, people that go on there and it's like you guys see the Matrix, bro. And I'm on that path. I'm like, okay, oh shit, this crowd right here, I'm going to have to do a little bit of work to get them. So I'm going to talk to these people and see which one of my bits I could throw at them,
Right.
But yeah, that's something I think I've gotten better at over the years.
That's great. No, yeah, that's God, I never thought of that though. Like as far as you do feel fucking gross if you just kind of go into cruise control mode with a small crowd. You're just like, okay. Now I will say I do and have done that in corporate gigs. Like, dude, I did one. I think I've talked about it on this. I did a corporate gig in Bellevue, Washington, and it was on a Sunday at like 3 p.m. and the games were playing. So I just stood under a TV that everybody was looking at the game just because I wanted to at least feel like they were looking at me. And then I literally just fucking rattled them off. I was like, I think it was like 30 minutes. And, I'd be in the middle of a setup and like the Seahawks would score and everybody, woo! And I'm just like, I'm going to keep going. My head's down and I'm just going to fucking get through this 30 and get my check. But dude, yeah, you do feel fucking just gross, like with a crowd that you're just like, okay, here we go.
Yeah. Especially with someone you've known for as a coworker.
Yeah, that's right. Your buddy's there. You're just like, oh fuck.
Yeah. Like that's another thing. It's like I learned a long time ago not to invite coworkers to see you perform. If they happen to be there, it is what it is. But because if it goes bad, you're gonna see these people at work during the day and shit, and it's bad. It's like
they just give you that look where they're like, I was there.
They lose respect. I've had coworkers on my current job lose literally. They were treating me a certain way because they knew I was a comic, but when they went to see me and I ate shit, damn, their attitude changed. They stopped respecting what I said.
You're like, bro, I'm your fucking supervisor.
It's like when you stop respecting your dad or your parents. Like you're like, I don't need to listen to you. you're like, don't let the jokes fool you. I will fire your ass. All right, really quick. So you have the podcast. Thanks for the invite. Do you have a website for it, or just go on iTunes? Or you could go to freddycorrea.com. All my links are there, and it's on YouTube. And so my name is Fred Recker on social media, FredReker, across the board, Twitter, everything. So even on YouTube, if you type that in, you'll find my podcast. Thanks for the invite, podcast with Freddy Correa. And I've done the transition that what you're doing, video, and it's been great. I love it. So
yeah, dude, it's fun. And also, just if you're only listening to this, Freddy's last name Correa is spelled Correa.
Thank you.
At freddycorrea.com, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for doing this, Freddy. I appreciate it. Love you, brother.
Love you too, buddy.
Until next time, guys, bombs away.
Fucking boo.